Has your child received his or her report card yet? If your kid is struggling in math, it might be time for a little extra learning support. Here to help your student build a love for math is Betsy Washburn. She is the owner of Mathnasium here in Desert Ridge and the Fountain Hills location. Good to see you.
Hi.
You guys are the Math Learning Center. Introduce us to Mathnasium.
Absolutely. Well, Mathnasium is a math-only learning center, and what we're doing is we're trying to help kids become successful in math, whether they're working on schoolwork or whether they're trying to catch up, areas that maybe that they're trying to build and understand and develop learning. But we work on math solely so that we're building that foundational piece of understanding for them.
Yes, and you know what? Kids who struggle in math, this is a big subject, right? And you start losing confidence, right? If you can't do all of the things that we need to in math. So you have different modes of learning for students. Walk us through how you teach them.
All right, well, here at Mathnasium, we have 5 modes of learning. We first have mental math. One of the biggest things that we're trying to do is develop their math understanding, how to think through math. One of the other ways is visual models. So if you'll see here, we have these desktop tools that we're going to use, teaching them to understand balancing of algebra and things like that, or graphing. So visual models is another model. Another is tactile, teaching them hands-on learning. We use that with things like our geometric solids or our clock or our base 10 blocks, teaching them to think and understand. But verbal math, one of my very favorites, is teaching them to talk about math and develop a language of math and how they know why they know what they know. So it's an important thing for us to engage them in multiple types of learning, because what we learn is not all kids learn the same. Some of us learn because we're visual understand. Some of us learn because we talk through understanding, but some do written.
Right.
They want to look at things like this and say, let me work through this and understand it by working and writing down math.
And this worksheet, parents, is so critical. This is an assessment and evaluation you do before you even start. So you come up with a customized plan for each student.
Absolutely. We want to look at what they know. We want to see what that in particular student knows, because some students, you can't assume they're 5th grade, they know all 5th grade math. They may have areas they need to go back to build from 4th grade, but then they may have areas that they're working at 6th or 7th grade level, and so we build a very customized learning plan for their student. We're going to spend a little verbal time with them and a lot of written time trying to figure out how we're going to help them specifically to develop that understanding.
And the cool thing is each student, Betsy, might need a little additional learning, right? And you help them kind of master that. How do you go about that?
So there's a variety of ways that we do it. One of them is with our mental math games. So we want to provide them opportunities to practice the skills that we're working on the topics. So let's say we're working on multiplication facts and teaching them how to multiply by 8. Then we're going to give them opportunities. We're going to pull out the dice, we're going to pull out a game, and we're going to get them to practice. So practicing is one of the ways that we do it. But one of the most important ways is our questions. I'm going to ask them very important and specific questions to show that they can master that idea. So you get the answer, and then I'm going to say, well, how did you get that? Well, what happens if I change it in this way? How are you going to be able to explain to me that you know what you know?
Right.
One of the truest forms of mastery is when a student can explain and teach me how they did that math, and that's what our goal is.
And the beautiful thing about this kind of one-on-one development in a classroom setting, oftentimes the teacher has to move on, right? Because they have to keep up with the pace of the entire class. Maybe your kid doesn't want to raise his or her hand, right? And you can allow them to have that flexibility here.
Absolutely. We do one-on-one instruction. So if I'm sitting with your student, I'm asking them really important questions, and I don't need them to tell me they don't understand. I can tell because of the questions I'm asking. And that one-on-one instruction is what allows us to see why they're knowing what they know, how to develop it, what other additional training we need to do in teaching. So questions, games, manipulatives, practice, there's a variety of ways that we're going to engage them to make sure that they're truly understanding what they're doing.
And this is not just tutoring, okay? So we're looking at some binders here. These are kids who are coming how many times a week?
Most centers, they're coming 2 to 3 times a week. That's a most center on average throughout the state.
Right, and they can bring in their homework. They can bring in anything they want, right?
Absolutely.
And sit with an instructor, walk a parent through what that session is like. And parents are not allowed back here, right?
No, we don't want them back here. For one, all of our instructors have gone through background checks, and they're safe to work with our students, and at the end of the day, that's what's most important for us,
Right.
is that our kids are safe and that they're in a safe learning environment. So we make sure that's safe. But when a student comes in, we sign them in, but one of the very first questions we ask is, do you have homework? Because we're not gonna give additional homework. We're gonna help them with the homework they have from school.
Perfect.
If it's completed, we're gonna check it. If it's not completed, we're gonna help them finish and answer the questions that they have on that homework. One of the other things that we do that's really important about homework is those important questions we were asking on our topics, we're gonna ask those same important questions on their homework. Okay, you got that, but how did you get that? And what if I change it? That's where that critical development problem-solving skill comes in. Can they apply it going forward? Can they apply it when that test comes and those questions look different? And we're able to do that through those questions that we're asking.
Yes, and I ran over here because this is something I love, the rewards.
Yes.
You don't want to just say, check the box, you want to reward.
We want to celebrate, and we want to reach different kids. Some kids are into teddy bears. Some kids are into
Look at this,
Nintendo
it's
Switches.
awesome.
Some kids are into these new Pop-Its. So we want to reach and celebrate rewards, and we celebrate them in a variety of ways. We celebrate when they're bringing a great school grade for math. We're going to celebrate them by using all their sessions. We're going to celebrate them by coming in and giving their best work. Most of the centers incorporate something like a student of the month or celebrating community as well. So we want to celebrate our students, and we do that with rewards. It's an important part.
All right, so I want you to walk us through, because I see the hashtag impressive.
Absolutely.
When the light bulb comes on, describe that moment.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, that's why I became a teacher. That ability to sit with a student and sit there and be able to say, they got it. They know what they know. We celebrate. I mean, I get chills just talking about it. Talking about that student getting it, that light bulb coming on, and they're able to go and say, I can do this. I can go into school and I can master that test. I can go in there and do the homework. I can raise my hand and answer in class for the first time for some kids. And that is the wonderful thing about how we get to do this. I get to see that light bulb multiple times. When I'm sitting with Carter, when I'm sitting with Sadie, I get to walk around and I get to see that light bulb go on multiple times.
Yeah, you grab that seat. I'm going to grab this seat because I also want you to describe when you tell a parent, your son or daughter has more confidence now. What is that?
Oh my gosh. I sent an email just yesterday to a mom, and I just said, let me tell you how much progress your student has done. Let me tell you what they've all mastered. And I get to have that conversation. Sometimes it's through email, sometimes it's through phone call. My favorite's when they come in the center, and then I get to let the student show off those skills. Let's show mom what we just mastered today. How awesome is a feeling for kids? They want to show off their skills. And so I love to be able to share that part of what we do with families, is sharing why we do what we do and how they're mastering those skills. That mom later sent me an email first thing this morning. The student was getting a D at the end of last school year. They have a 99% in math. I mean, like, that's why we do what we do.
Wow.
Major changes.
D to A.
D
just
to
like
A.
That.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. And again, with everything going on, with all of the social media temptation and everything happening, this is just one less thing, right? One less thing parents have to worry about, one less thing students have to worry about.
I have this phrase I like to say. It's like, I want to give you back your kitchen table. I want that to be your place to have dinner with your family. Let us take that math homework. Let us take that time where we're helping them and drudging through that homework that can be difficult. You don't have to fight with them. You take your kitchen table back, bring them to us, and let us help.
Yeah, I have 16-year-olds in school, and I tell you, some of these equations get a little challenging. We as parents should not be embarrassed that we might need a little refresher.
Absolutely,
right?
It's been a long time since you did algebra. I mean, seriously, we want to be able to help.
Yes, it's perfect. All right, so here's the best part. Mathnasium, you just heard, she wants to give you your kitchen table back. So take it back by enjoying this special offer from Mathnasium. They are giving you right now, if you reach out, $100 off your child's first month of membership. Mathnasium, the Math Learning Center, has 23 Phoenix area locations. Call 877-601-MATH. That's 877-601-6284. You can also go online to mathnasium.com/PHX for more information.